Hi, it's Jerry with I Love RV Life. We're finally getting ready to return to travel. It's been months and months and months, and we've missed it so much. What we didn't share on the channel is that Joan had a very severe eye injury the 1st of July. It was a very scary time. I thought she might lose her vision in that eye, and she's been under the care of an eye surgeon since that time, was just released. We're very thankful of the Lord's blessings to bring her through this. The good news is she has recovered just about all of her vision in that eye. There's still going to be a little bit of an artifact there from some damage to the cornea, but I think she's going to get over it over time, and we're ready to hit the road again. So we're excited about that. We're excited, number one, that she is in good shape now and ready to travel, and that eye is in great shape, and we're getting ready to hit the road again. Oh my goodness. We have missed it. But there's things that happen when your camper sits for a period of time. So that's rare for us. Usually we're rolling all the time. You know, every couple weeks we're out for several weeks or a month. And the camper rarely sits for any long period of time. So it's been sitting for a while. And it's gotten dusty and dirty, and the roof looks awful, and you know, we need to check tires and blah blah blah. There's kind of a process that I like to go through just to make sure, number one, that it's clean and ready to go. What do we need to do to repack it again? We had to pull everything out of it. So this is almost like we were a seasonal traveler instead of the regular heavy travels that we normally do. I thought we'd just share what Jerry and Joan does over the next couple days. So this is going to be a video. You're going to see church change and other things that's going to be going on. We'll show you what we have to kind of go through to get everything ready to hit the road again. Bays are a mess. Like I said, it's so filthy and dirty. We're going to have to give this thing a good hard scrub. So that's task number one today. That's going to take us a few hours, and we're going to head outside and get that done. Now let me mention this. What do we do to wash this big fifth wheel? Well, I am a big fan of Meguiar's. They're not sponsored, but I'm a big fan of Meguiar's Boat and RV Wash. I have found that that really protects the surface. I've tried other things, and literally it will damage the shine, damage the gel coat. You just have to be careful with it. And I think this gives the best cleaning and the less abrasive nature to what we use here. And once we get up on the roof, I'll show you some other things that we use. I use a soft bristle brush. I am not a fan of the pressure washer, only because my pressure washer skills are terrible, and all it takes is getting up too close to your camper one time with that pressure washer and hitting it with high pressure, and you can literally knock, you know, a swath of sheen off of it. So for those of you who have that skill set, good. But I like the soft bristle brush. It takes me just a little bit longer to do a good wash, but then I'm in great shape for the rest of the time. Not going to wax it, don't have to do any of those types of things. The coating we have on the fifth wheel looks fantastic. So let's head up, and I'm going to show you a couple other things once we get up top. First thing I'm going to do is an inspection and just make sure that we don't have any lap sealant separation. That can happen just due to, it's been hot. You know, we live here in the South. It has been, holy cow, it's been hot. And so you're going to have, you know, hot days, cooler evenings, and that's going to cause the membrane to, you know, expand, contract, and that can fatigue that lap sealant. So it's good to be able to check all of those areas and look at that. So the roof is dirty, it's nasty. We'll get a good scrub, make it look pretty again. And we have a PVC roof. We have a very bright, white, shiny roof, and one of the nice things about that is it's very reflective, and the cleaner that roof, the less we have to run the AC. I know that sounds crazy, but it makes a massive difference. I'm talking about, it can make a 8 to 10 degree difference of having a clean roof compared to having this nasty thing that we've got up there now. Okay, let's head outside, and we'll start the process, and we'll just let you see what's going to happen over the next couple of days. It's really going to be kind of fun. Hi, we're back in Julie's camper again. And she and Josh wanted to upgrade the larger mattress that you saw probably a few weeks ago. Here, I'll just show you this clip where we took the twin bed version of the bunk for the larger grandchild so that they would have more of a comfortable space. Well, you know what happened? The other large grandchild said, I've got to sleep on the bunk. And what's wrong with this bunk bed, Jules?
It is smaller than the other one.
It is smaller.
And it still has the thin, I don't want to call it a mattress.
I'm going to show you this. I'm going to give you a close-up of this that unfortunately we put our children through. This thin, it's not even a mattress.
It's not.
It's a covering for plywood is about all that it amounts to. And we're going to fix this. Now, here's the interesting thing. Over on the other side here, we have a mattress that is a conventional twin. This is what they call a bunk size, and they run in various widths from 30 to 28 to whatever you can see in the chart. And Brooklyn Bedding will serve most of these unique bunk styles. So, we ordered another mattress. We're going to make the other grandbaby happy. Let me show you how easy it is to install it. You'll see on the box, it gives you the instructions of installation. That's how simple it is. Unbox, unroll, expand. Let me show you how it is to install a Brooklyn Bedding mattress. Off we go. That's all there is to it. Look at that. Look how quickly it expands. Isn't that amazing? That is really something. Oh, they're going to love this.
I'm excited. Now they can quit fighting.
Now they can quit fighting over one comfortable mattress.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull this forward and let you grab it. That was so simple, wasn't it, Julie?
It was practically effortless.
I mean, if you would have known, just slipping out of the box, boom, and it's ready to go. And then one of the things I like about it is ready to go right now. I mean, there's no off-gassing. It's just absolutely perfect. Now, the kids don't have to fight for which mattress they get.
No. There's no favorite child.
No favorite child. Well, we've gone through an upgrade here of a queen-size sleeper. Julie was sharing the first time that her husband Josh got on it, and it was one word that came out of his mouth.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's two. But anyway, that's three. And that's what we hear from everyone. They order one of these Brooklyn Bedding mattresses and they say the comfort's amazing. Whether you've got a big fifth wheel like Jen and I have, or one of these very nice bunk models with a nice queen, a twin that you saw on the other side, and now we've done the bunk that we have here for the other grandchild to sleep on. It's just amazing comfort. And again, think about this, 120-night sleep trial, 10-year warranty, free shipping. These are made in Arizona. They're absolutely fantastic mattresses, aren't they?
They are. They are.
Well, we thank Brooklyn Bedding Mattress for supporting I Love RV Life and supporting today's video. If you would like to get your Brooklyn Bedding mattress for your big rig or even down to your small bunk models for the kiddos, then it's very easy to get it. Go out to rvmattress.com. Remember the / I Love RV Life. And then at checkout, use the code I Love RV Life, and you're going to get 25% off your purchase. Okay, we are up on the roof, and the first thing I'm going to do before I start any washing or anything else is just start inspecting again all the lap sealant, condition of the roof. Look at the skylights, they can crack. Make sure that we don't have any plastic failure on any of the devices like the air conditioner covers, the vents, the max air fans, all those types of things. So before we start scrubbing and squirting, let's look at the lap sealant and see how things are handling right now. So you can see this roof is really, really nasty and dirty. So it's going to be shiny and pretty here in a little bit. Look at all the screws. Look in here. I'm seeing just some very minute cracks. Even the smallest crack, we want to go ahead and get some treatment on that. So that's not so bad. We'll go ahead and wash it, let it dry out, and then we'll do that. But we'll look all the way across, make sure that there's no problems. Look at your air vents again, make sure that that plastic hasn't busted. Those things will crack over time. Make sure we don't have any separation here. I find this is a max air fan here. Love these max air fans. And one of the things that can happen, again, this will heat and expand. I see the, whatever you want to call it, the vertical versus the horizontal seems to have the most stress on it from heat expansion and contraction. And this stuff will separate right here, and then you'll get leak, 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 leak. So we'll just look and make sure it's in good shape, and sure enough, there's a small little crack right there we need to take care of, and we'll fix that little crack right there. And you know, these are easy things to do, but I doubt much water would come in that, but it'll get worse and worse over time. You'll actually see some different coloration here from old to new, where I had some separation last year and had to treat this just a little bit. Also make sure that there's no surface scratches or anything like that in this. These things crack. We hit tree limbs or don't know much about them. I'm seeing scratches on it, but other than that, I'm not seeing any surface cracks, so that's a good thing. The ends here have lots of troubles, but so far my ends look very good. There's a little bit right there, a little bit right there. I've already treated this once, a little bit more right here. So this is one of those ounce of prevention is what, worth a pound of cure, something like that. So we'll get that taken care of. All right, nothing bad, and I think we'll go ahead and give her a good wash. And these are so minor, I'll come back and fix those up after we get it cleaned up. So right now, our Montana is one dirty mess on top, but we're going to fix this. This is what I use. It's called Meguiar's Boat Wash, but right up above it, it says Marine and RV. Does a great job. Gets rid of all the road scum, and and it's gentle. It doesn't tear up your surface and strip all the stuff off of the wax and that type of thing. It does a really, really good job. The other thing I would suggest using is one of these. This extends. I can't do it justice here in the video, but it's a soft bristle brush, car wash brush, and this will keep you from scratching up your surface, and it does a really, really good job. Once it gets wet, it's real gentle on the surface of your RV, so you won't mar the finish. Again, I use this instead of a pressure washer. All right, we have got one dirty, dirty job. I'm going to start in the front, right over here. I'll start here in the forward slope and get that done. And then right about where I'm standing here, about a third of the way forward, I'll start the back slope and let it all run off the back. One thing I will mention is that if you are going to do this on your RV and you do the roof, then you need to immediately turn around and take the next couple hours and do the sides, because all this black goopy gum is going to roll off on the side of the RV, and then once it dries, you're going to have to work twice as hard to be able to get it off. So plan on the morning or the afternoon. That's about how long it's going to take. All right, let's get started. It's been a couple hours. Large task. This is the big task. Done. Clean camper. Nice and shiny and clean. All that ugly road grime off. Oh, muy better. Yep, this is what a clean RV roof should look like. Nice and shiny and white. And folks, if you don't have a PVC roof on your camper, if you can ever get to the point to put one on, it is a huge difference. All right, a few more tasks. First thing I want to do is look at our hitch. I've got, if you don't have one of these and you have a fifth wheel, you'll see the water coming out. I call these Teflon plates. I just recently replaced this one. The other one had gouged out really bad and was getting worn, and they'll last 4 or 5 years, depending on how much, and I travel a lot. Other thing, I'm going to go get me a little lithium grease and just put on the inside of the pin. I do not put any grease on top of my fifth wheel hitch. This has enough lubricity in it, aka it's slick enough that you don't have to do it. And I just put just a little bit of lithium grease inside. I just put it on my fingers and just wipe it really good. It don't have to be thick, but it's time for that. All right. All right, that wasn't a bad day. I mean, I don't know, 3 hours-ish, and it's nice and clean. We've checked the front hitch. It's all ready to go. Got another handful of things to do. That'll start tomorrow morning. It's getting too hot, and we'll get that taken care of. We'll see you in the morning. Next thing I do before we start a trip, especially if the fifth wheel's been sitting for a period of time, is to check the tire pressure. Now, some people go, oh, I check it maybe once a year or whatever. I've had 2 blowouts. It's been a while, but I've had 2 blowouts, and even though I thought that I was doing what I should be doing, almost religious about checking my tires. So I'll show you what I do. It just takes a minute. And if you've been sitting for a while, or if you haven't done this for a number of months, check your tire pressure and make sure everything is okay. So these are Salem's. These are Salem 637s. These are a very popular tire. I've been very pleased with it. We've got about 15,000 miles on these. First thing I'm going to do is do a bit of an inspection. I'm going to check around the beads, make sure the beads look good. These tires are not old. They're only, 20 months old. Starting to get around year 5, year 6, you may want to start consider changing out your tires. You can get dry rot in here. Once you get dry rot, these things are going to blow. Plus, these things have 110 pounds of pressure in them. And if they blow, it's going to be like an atomic bomb going straight up, and it's just going to tear all this off, all the top off that you see up here. Could even do damage to my slides and so forth, so do that. The other thing I use is a good quality tire pressure monitor, or tire pressure gauge. This is a Jayco or Jocko. I've had this one for several years. I like it for a couple reasons. One, you can get the straight on read here, and then you've got this hook lead where I can get to the tires on my dually on the ton truck, on the F350, so that's pretty helpful. The other thing that I do is I check these in the cool of the day. I normally do it in the morning. I have seen, especially living here in the South, you get hot sun beating on these all afternoon. You check it. I've seen these things go up 15 degrees just from the heat, and you'll not get a proper reading. So I'm going to run 110 pounds in these, and guess what? I've got let's see, will it show? There you go. I've got 110 pounds, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not going to have to charge it. The other thing I use too, I don't use one of those little small 12-volt air compressors. I use a pancake. I bought it at Lowe's. It'll go up to 150 pounds. And I can, if this thing's down 10 pounds, I can run that pancake and I can put air in these things in 2 minutes. Those other things, you can take an hour or so to do it. All right, I'm going to go around, check all my tires, make sure that everything is okay, and then we'll go to the next step. And since I'm here with the air compressor and I have all that done, I'm getting ready to check the tires on the e-bike. I'm going to be doing a bunch of riding here over the next couple weeks. So I want to make sure I got good pressure on those, and I've got the pancake out. I can pop some air in it if I need to. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and check that and then put that back in storage. All right, I've checked all the tires. Tires look great. Checked all the air pressure. Air pressure's in great shape. Did the e-bike, put a little air in those tires. Now the other thing that I do, you may notice over here that I don't have the shore power or the campground power hooked up to this. We're at home. I do have a 50 amp connection that I can keep things charged up if we need to do that. But what I do usually 24 hours before we leave, I will unplug everything, and I want to make sure that our lithium batteries are in good shape, that the solar charging's working. So I've had this unhooked for 24 hours. Everything is just kind of operating as normal. The residential refrigerator, etc., etc. I've run the slides in and out a couple times, so I just want to make sure that as we take our trip, when we get to the campground, the refrigerator's cold and we can operate our slides, so that's pretty important. So let's just see and make sure that from yesterday, from about noontime till now, it's noontime again, that we've had good solar charging that's come in, and these lithium batteries are in good shape as well. So we don't have any AC power, no campground power coming to this. The slides are in, and before we do anything else, just on our lithium batteries, we want to make sure all the slides operate properly, because, well, last thing I want is to be able to get to the campground and can't get these babies out. So that's the next test we're going to do. And one of the things you're going to notice on the Montana, these are hydraulic slides in the main area, and baby, they rock and roll. That's a good sign. No squeaks, no rattles, no crunching. Something we always want. And that's done. And those hydraulics do not play. We'll throw out the big heavy slide. Make sure it's going to go out okay. And that one looks good. Alright, those hydraulics work great. The last one's going to be the bedroom. And the bedroom has those Swintex. I'm not big fans, but that's what it is. So let's make sure it's going to behave. Definitely not the speed of the hydraulics. Now what a lot of people don't realize is that on a Swintex, even though it's rolled in, you want to leave that finger on there for about 10 seconds. And that makes sure that everything stays in time. That looks good. All right, and checking the voltage here at the inverter, we're at 13.2. So we've got tons and tons of capacity left, at least here. It's time for our yearly maintenance on the hitch. There's not really a whole lot to do to it. Some inspection, tightening the bolts, doing some grease work. Now this is a Hensley TS3, and you know, it's not the puck style that came on later style trucks. So I've got rails. I need to make sure that all the bolts that are up underneath that tie those rails to the frame, they're good and tight. I do that once a year. There's some grease points. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. Just give it an overall inspection, a little bit of lubrication. So it doesn't matter whether you've got this really nice air hitch from Hensley here, or if you're using any other style of fifth wheel hitch. And even for that matter, if you've got a tow behind, a pull behind, and you've got your, your hitch that's on the back, now's the time to, get underneath the bumper, make sure all those bolts are good and tight. Anything that needs to be lubed, or whether it's grease or just some spray lube, on your hitch, it's a good time to do that once a year. So let's go ahead and start checking all the bolts, make sure everything's all tight, and get this thing good and lubed. Other thing I'm going to do too while I'm at it is just check the airbags here. I've got them a little overinflated now, and I'll let some of this air out. There's actually a mark that exists on the side to let me know where the weight is, so it doesn't matter how heavy of a fifth wheel you put on this, you got a level mark that they recommend. I've tried it with and without that level, and the level mark works. So I'm going to check all these. I put a little extra air in them to inflate them. I'm just going to make sure that I don't have any dry rot, and they all look good. I'm not losing any air, so they're in good shape. All the fittings are in good shape, so that's another inspection. Now I've got these, I forget what these are rated, but it's a very strong, somebody's going to make a comment on this, I'm sure. I forget what these bolts are rated for, these big heavy duty rails. This is rated to 20,000 pounds, and that weighs 20,000 pounds, the big fifth wheel up here, loaded, fully loaded. It's not that much empty. I think it's about something like 17 and a half, 18, something like that. And we don't carry water and stuff like that in there, so we're probably just barely hitting the 20 if we're hitting that at all. So I'm going to get underneath here, and I've got brackets that tie this into the frame, so I'm going to get all this checked and make sure these are good and tight as well. Last thing I want is one of these things to come loose. So let's head underneath, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten those up. You can see where I've got these brackets that tie into the frame. Then I got bolts here, bolts in the back, and then again over here on the side there's the front bracket, and I got bolts up top. So I'm just going to make sure these are good and tight on both sides. I'm going to start here at the coupling. I don't grease this top. I showed you previously that I use a Teflon plate, but still this has got some mechanical movement. This is just a Wonder Lube. It's got Teflon in it. Do not use WD-40. I guess there's a little bit of value in that, but WD-40 is really a solvent. So I'm just going to squirt this in there, make sure that it's going to work real well. Just kind of get all the mechanisms good and lubed. And I don't have a lot of weather. I've got this cover, this backflip cover here, so I don't get a lot of weather in it. So I bought this in 2015. So we've been using it, I think, 7 years, and it's an awesome hitch. Never, knock on wood, I've never had any issues with it. What I like about this Hensley TS3, they're not sponsored. I bought this myself. The good thing about this Hensley TS3, or any of the Hensley hitches for that matter, for fifth wheels, they've also got them for pull behinds too. Especially with the fifth wheel, there is no chucking, none whatsoever. I don't have any of that bounce, any of that noise. These are awesome hitches. I love it. And then with the air ride, and then these dampers back in the back are shocks. This thing is nice and level. Gosh, it makes a great tow. These are awesome, awesome hitches. I just love them. Just love them. I think that's good. All right. So we got a little lube in here, And that's going to make sure the mechanism behaves well. We're going to put some grease. I don't think it's going to take much. I see some already popping out here. I get this stuff all over me. Yeah, that's already pretty full. Looks great. This is just a lithium grease that I use. Just, standard automotive grease, nothing special. Good and lubed and nasty. Alright, so that's good for another year. And we'll be ready to go on down the road. Well, Joan's been working overtime. We're getting ready to leave in the morning, and it's just amazing when you haven't traveled in a while how much stuff you have to put back into the camper. Usually the way we travel, probably 50-60% of our clothing stays in, bedding, all that type of stuff. Well, we've been home for several months, waiting for Joan to recuperate, and everything came out of here, so we had to start from scratch. So Joan's here. I'll take you upstairs. She's got the bedroom looking pretty with and one of the things that we're getting ready for, I don't know if you can make this out, but that doesn't show it. We've got, there we go, you can see on the pillowcases, that's flannel. It's going to be cold. I mean, we're talking about, well, cold for we Southerners. It's going to be down in the 40s and high 30s over the next couple weeks. So we've got the flannel sheets out. So look, didn't Joan do a great job on her pretty bedroom? And she wanted the grays to mix with that. I'll have to brag on her. She's in the house. She's tuckered out. She's been working so hard. And then all the necessary things, with the refrigerator, getting it all stocked up, and we've got it full of stuff, looking great. And I don't know, can you hear this? Can you hear that? There's something about, this is a GE refrigerator, these 3 doors that they put in these Montanas. And honest to goodness, I don't know what it is about these 3-door refrigerators. I know we live in the South and it's humid as all get out. Even in October it's humid. So the door stays open while we load everything up, and it builds up. We get a lot of humidity here, and then that thing gets a little bit of ice around the fan and then just rattles, and it takes forever for the defroster to get itself settled back out. So for the next 24 hours, maybe even 48 hours, that thing's just going to rattle like crazy. Drives us nuts. And I've talked to GE about it, and they just said, hey, it's humidity and it builds up, give the defroster a chance. Is anybody else out there that's watching this got a Montana, and does your GE do that as well? Driving me crazy. So we'll get past that rattly thing, and then of course, we've got one of the things that we love about this Montana is this big pantry, and we never had that with our Gateway. And Joan's been out here, getting all the canned goods and all that type of stuff. Look at that big pantry. And then if you'll look right there, we use that for our wine storage. We'll have a few bottles of wine to carry with us. I'll show you a few other things that we do to travel that I don't know if you guys run into this or not, but one of the things that, this is our theater seating that we use. I love this theater seating. We didn't have that in the Gateway. And, we've got like a standard dinette, and I took the dinette out in the Gateway that we had, and I left this one in here, and I gotta share with you that, that's combo office. I think I've showed in previous videos what I do for the office arrangement with the new laptop, etc. But Joan wanted a little side table. This is, a Walmart special that gives her a table and just a regular light. It's nice having that little bit of soft offsetting light when we sit here. But you see the noodles? That's something that I use to keep from scratching everything up and bumping into it. I put noodles there. And I'll show you another trick that I found with these pool noodles. If you haven't done this, this is a great way to keep this thing from flipping around and busting all over the place. I just cut a pool noodle just a little bit long so it'll be a little bit stiff in there inside the microwave. And that keeps that big platter from dancing and hopefully not breaking, holds it in place. So that's a good little addition. I'll show you one more thing that we do to prep. Aside from this refrigerator, the pantry, all the coffee bar stuff. Here, I'll show you Joan's little coffee bar. She does this, that's her little Keurig coffee bar. So organized, Joan. I do want to take you outside to show you one more little thing that we do as far as overflow. We're going to be gone for weeks and weeks, and especially when we're gone for months and months. This little addition here is just, oh, I love it. Now, I had some problems with it. Let me share with you what I've had to do. Now, I've been working on the e-bike. I've got it put together. Haven't put it back in the storage. That e-bike will go, I'll see if I can get here where the sun will shine. That e-bike will go right in that space, fits perfect. But this is a set power refrigerator. If I did a video on this a while back, and I didn't think we would use it much. Wrong. We use this thing like crazy. Let me pull it out and I'll just show you how we use this. I've got this big set power slide out tray. Gosh, that thing is awesome. And then this side, it's a two-piece unit. You can set it up as refrigerator, or you can set it up as refrigerator freezer, and that's how we use it for just, again, for overflow. And we put, like beverages, adult beverages and soft drinks and stuff like that in here. That's really handy when we're sitting out at the campsite. It's just, a step away. And then here's the overflow freezer. And golly, I'm telling you, this is wonderful. The freezer upstairs is completely full. And the only thing this is our second set power. The other one, we had a, whatever you want to call it, an insulated blanket or a cover that we could set over it. Here, before I go into that, you can actually see where, it may not show here, the two zones. I'm not sure if this will read right. You can see that one's at 14 degrees and that one's at 36 degrees, so you can see the split. It's got battery protection. I don't have to worry about it. I put it on low for lithium, and then you can set it for minimum and max cooling. So, for the first 5 or 6 hours, I'll put it on max, and then I turn the compressor speed down. And then it runs off of a 12-volt jack. Now, you can run it AC as well. There you see a little accessory jack. Now, I put that accessory jack in, and what I did, okay, this is not one of my brighter moments, but if you see, I've got a light here, so I thought, well, that's probably not pulling too much power. I'll just take that accessory jack and splice into what you actually see right up there, splice into that power. I'll share this with you. It didn't work worth a flip. It was nothing but just constant problems. If I was hooked into shore power, we didn't have any problem. But when I went to lithium battery only, this thing would go into low voltage era mode. I tried everything for 6 months. I bought new 12-volt jacks. I bought a new cord that went into this thing. I tried everything. So what did I end up doing? It was pretty simple. So you may be able to make it out now. If you'll notice, there's a strip. If you'll see this, it goes up here and then goes all the way around through this bulkhead. And then over here, there was a secondary power panel. I won't bother opening it, but behind that door right there, there's a secondary power panel, and it had some fuse locations. So I put this thing on a dedicated fuse, and believe it or not, zilch problems. I turned the power off and let this thing run for like 2 days just on lithium battery to see if it would ever go into air mode. It was a bad Jerry. I just goofed up. And there was just either some kind of a conflict in here when it was connected to that area right up here. I think what was really going on, not as much as a conflict, but there's something else in line. And I'll go ahead and tell you, if you can find a wiring diagram for a Montana, good luck for that. I couldn't find out what all was connected on here, but something was happening causing a surge when that compressor cut on, and whatever else was in line here, it didn't like it, and it wasn't worth P. Diddy. But works like a champ now. But I've got a new addition here that I didn't have with this set power fridge that I wish that I did have, and I had on the other one, the 45 quart model, and we're able to remedy that. Let me go get that real quick. As I was sharing with my previous unit, you can see this changed color. They have come out with one of these, I call them an insulated cover or a blanket. And this changes the whole dynamics of these portable refrigerators. Looks like everybody's got them. Set Power didn't. This is such a new unit here. They didn't have the insulated blankets out for these. But you can see here, it's just Velcro that holds the top on. And you just, you throw that back and then you've got access to this. Just as far as thickness, it's like your bubble wrap, heavy, thick. Nice, washable. You don't have to worry about things getting on it. And then you still have, easy push button access to your controls. This is a mesh right here for the vents, so you don't have to worry about that. And then, of course, your compressor vents over here. You get out of the shadow here. You've got the vents on it, so the compressor stays, fine as far as getting plenty of air. And then, if for some reason you're going to be pulling this out and letting it, you're going to plug it in, let it charge up for a while, and then set it out for a short period of time, maybe an hour or two or something like that. This will help keep things cooler longer. And you've got pockets to put your plugs and things like that. What I really like about this is, if I'll step back here, and you can actually see the sun is setting today, and the side of the RV really gets beat here. And this, especially in the hot summer, this storage area here can get quite warm. And the benefit now is that with this blanket, this compressor will not have to work as hard, and especially when we're traveling up and down the road, this will keep it much cooler, and we won't have to use as much battery power. I'm really excited that Set Power decided to come out with this with this blanket for that. I'll leave some links today and some of the things that I've showed as far as, the Set Power refrigerator. If you haven't used one of these and you need, something for your van or smaller unit, these things are fantastic. And then what we really enjoy is just having that overflow, and there's just a place to be able to keep cool beverages when we're sitting outside and not having to run in and out. Just a really nice benefit. But that freezer overflow is absolutely fantastic. And now that we've got that cover, this thing's going to stay cooler a lot longer. Well, we're heading out. Sun's starting to set here. We're going to get up early in the morning, and we are heading to the mountains. I'll show you a few things as we head out tomorrow. Well, good morning. What was the Crosby, Still and Nash remake of the Sam Cooke song? It's been a long time coming. Well, I know, has nothing to do with RVing, but still, it's been a long time coming. We have missed our travels this summer, and perfect time. I'm looking here. We're still, southern part of Georgia. The leaves are just changing. We're heading to the mountains. Now, what are we going to be doing this morning? I'm not sure. Maybe a long time ago, I showed how we hooked up to the fifth wheel. Think about this. I've been running this thing since 2015, and it's a doll. And you can see the 55-gallon tank that I've got here. I was able to find diesel for $3.85 a gallon. I never thought that I would rejoice over $3.85 diesel. Gosh, can you imagine that? Our fine governor here in Georgia dropped the sales tax on diesel and gasoline, so I took advantage of it, and I've got 90 gallons. That's a lot. All right. I'm going to put the GoPro here and let you see how this thing hooks up. I think this might be interesting. And then take you in the dash. We've made, since we were down, we've had a lot of time to kind of spruce up this, that, and the other. And I made a lot of changes to my dash. And I'll show you that as we go up the road once we pull out. So we're getting ready to pull out of here in about 15-20 minutes. So excited. All right. That was an easy breezy hitch. No problem whatsoever. And again, it just took me just a minute to roll that thing back in there. Just super easy. And just kind of give you my view here. That's the view from the camera. I can get a close-up on it. There we go. Man, that makes it awesome. All right, let's head out the road. All right, Joan, we're heading up the road. Finally,
yeah. We were supposed to leave it between 10 and 10:30, and it is now 11:35.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a late start, but that's okay. We've been sitting at the house pretty much all summer. Yeah. And you're better now. I'm excited about that. So.
Oh, yeah, me too.
And we're going to go up and see a lot of friends up in the mountains and just have a great time, aren't we?
Oh yeah, that's our plans.
Well, again, we mentioned that we've been sitting home all summer while Joan was recuperating, and you'll hear Mink in the background. She hears me talking, so she wants to comment in the video as well. I mentioned our dash. I kind of rearranged some things and made it a little bit better. I've got great visibility here. I don't have anything blocking now. I mentioned our rear view camera, and that thing is awesome, that we can be able to look out the back. Mink, hush baby. But she wants to get in on the video. But we've got that, and then the new tablet seems to be working out great. We've got it running now with our map. I've got a lot of videos on using Google Maps for travel, and I know Some people are uncomfortable with that, but we've got a nice process that we use that we like. And there, I'm going to have to do this at an angle. That's our TST tire monitoring. And I moved it down here to the bottom. I used to have it up at the top. It picks up fine. We don't have any problems with that. And I know this thing looks like the cockpit out of a 747. And then that's our engine monitor we've got running over here. I've got this is a basic, basic LX 2014 truck. It didn't have a whole lot of gauge details. And so here I'm able to look at, again, kind of glance out of the corner of my eye, see miles per hour, RPM, engine temp, oil temp, transmission temp, all those types of things. Make sure the alternator's working well, it's doing a good charge. That's just kind of like my go-to. All right, we're headed to the mountains, and it's gonna be fun, isn't it, Joan?
It is. We'll see you there.
And we got a lot of stuff planned, and we're gonna just show you why we both love RV life.
Absolutely.
Safe travels out there, y'all.